So today I wanted to talk about how to add the melody, and I want to demo this in the song Here I Am to Worship that we learned in the key of D. So I know we learned this song in the key of C as well, but for the sake of right now, I wanted to actually do it in D because D is a little bit more challenging. And you will find that one of the things you have to know as you begin playing the melody is what notes am I allowed to use? In other words, what notes are in the scale? So it's easy in C because it's just all white keys. But in the key of D, you have to know what notes are in my scale. What are my pitches? You've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you know you have two sharps here. You've got your F sharp and C sharp. And so that's really important because that's going to help you as you play your melody. Okay, so what I usually recommend doing is if you're new to hearing melodies and finding them, play the melody by itself first. So can you find the melody for Here I Am to Worship? So this is your root chord. Here I am to worship, here I am. What does that start on? That starts on your 4. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down. Okay, so that's your melody for your chorus. What about the verse? Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see. Now, how can I do that perfectly the first time? Obviously, I've had some practice playing this song, but I'm doing it by hearing the pitches first. Light, and I know that's a 3, because 1, that's my 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 2, and so I know what my pitches are. So then I know what my pitches in my scale are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I'm playing those pitches. So 3, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so I'm playing those pitches there. So now we can take that skill with us when we actually add the melody to our songs. Now, we talked a long time ago about how we don't typically play the melody as worship pianists because the congregation is already singing the melody, and hopefully they already know the melody, and the worship leader is singing the melody as well. So we don't really need to play the melody, but there are times when it is really pretty to double the melody. So let's look at Here I Am to Worship, and I'm just going to walk you through a few things. Playing the melody is something that you will have to experiment with for each song, and for some songs it's honestly going to be way easier than others. Let's say we're playing the verse here. You have a couple different options for adding the melody. So let's say we're doing the verse. Light of the world, you step down into darkness. I'm going to play it lower. Open my eyes, let me see. Okay, so you could either add the whole melody or you could hint at the melody. So let's say we wanted to add the whole melody. This is what we do. So notice I'm kind of playing the chord on that downbeat. You don't have to play the chord. You could just play the left hand and the melody. And if this is new for you, that's what I do. That's really pretty. I like adding the chord on the downbeat because it just adds a little bit more fullness. So what you would do there is play your melody on top and then add the rest of the chord underneath it. Okay, so I'm playing my chord, light, and then I'm coming up to play my melody. Now I'm playing the chord here. I'm going to play the chord, now my melody. Can add a little fill in, we'll talk about that later. So you could either play just the melody in the right hand, or you could add the chord as well on the downbeat, and that's fine. The other option you have is if you're a little bit not quite confident in the melody, which happens to all of us, if you're not quite confident in what that melody is, or if you don't want to give away the whole melody, if you want to kind of hint at it, then just play part of the melody, but not the whole thing. Let me show you what I mean by that. So you could do, for the verse, you could do. Notice how I didn't play every melody note? I hinted at it, but with my inversions and with playing a little bit of the melody, but not a lot. Sometimes that can be helpful if you're playing like for an altar call or when someone is speaking, because when someone's speaking, you probably aren't going to want to hear this in the background. That's going to be very distracting for people. They're going to be thinking about the song instead of what the person is saying. And so it might be better in that case to just kind of hint at the melody. Something like that. In the case of an altar call, for example, playing like that hints at the melody a little bit without giving it away. And what it actually does for the congregation is it leaves room for the Holy Spirit to guide the person's ear for whatever they should be listening to. Because sometimes we've all had these moments where the piano player is playing the song that was just being sung, and the speaker is talking about something. And in that moment, you kind of have a choice to listen to the speaker, or your heart might actually go to the music, and the music might actually minister to you more than the speaker will. And so if we play something like that, where we're hinting at the melody a little bit, we're not giving it away, we're not being distracting, but that allows the Holy Spirit to direct the person's thoughts to either the speaker or to what's being played. And either one of those can minister to their hearts, or sometimes both. Sometimes I'm sure you've had that situation where your mind and heart will kind of jump back and forth between the two, and both what the speaker is saying and what the instrumentalists are playing will minister to your heart. Okay, so you can play the melody, you can play the full melody, or you can hint at it. And so let's look at that if we go into the chorus. So I played the whole melody there. I embellished a little bit. That can be really pretty if you're playing as an instrumental, which I'll show you in just a minute. Like if you want to play the whole song without anyone singing. Or you could hint at it a little bit. So see again how I'm hinting at the melody there. So these ideas can be really helpful if you wanted to create some sort of piano arrangement for your song. This was really popular in the traditional churches, like I grew up in, where we would play a hymn as just a piano instrumental for offering time or for a special music time, we called it. And so you could totally do something like that here with this song. Let's say you might start it. Well, actually, let me start at the beginning and just kind of show you how this works. So for the intro, maybe you could just do something simple. Just improvising off of the chords, just like we normally do. And then I'm going to do my verse here. Notice how pretty that is when you play it like that. And then you could do the same thing for verse 2, kind of figure out, do I want some higher inversion, something lower? What do I want to portray here? You could go into your bridge, and then at the end, you'd go back into your chorus. And so we're just going to assume that I've already played through the rest of the song, similarly to what I just did, and now I'm going back to the final chorus. And for this one, I'm going to start lower, so. Notice at this point, I'm not really playing the melody much. I basically went from playing the melody to now basically improvising on the chords. People know what the melody is, but this is leading into more of that meditation and contemplative prayer in this portion of the song, because I'm not playing the melody quite so much. So I hope that gives you a few ideas as to some things you can do with adding the melody. I would encourage you to play through some of the songs that you know. And again, some of them, it might not work very well to add the melody. For this one, it does, so perhaps start with this song. I hope you enjoyed this video. The clip that you just watched is from my course called Advanced Worship Piano. If you would like to learn more about how to play worship piano from a heart of worship and love for Jesus, check out my online lessons and courses at adorationmusicacademy.com.